around this week, so let's get into it. In the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, scientists were alarmed to find high levels of fecal bacteria in contaminated water, which has led them to officially reclassify Harvey as a literal shitstorm. 62 Nebraska pastors joined together this week to release a statement declaring one cannot be both a Christian and a racist. Well, damn it, we have to try, responded Virginia. A recent episode of the plastic surgery reality show Botched featured a woman who has had 12 surgeries in the last year to try to look like Ivanka Trump. When reached for comment, Ivanka said, "Come on, I know that's you, Tiffany." A town in Mexico has beat a world record when 600 chefs teamed up to create a 3-ton vat of guacamole. But that still doesn't mean that it's for the table, Greg. Many worry that Donald Trump's recent remarks could mean that nuclear war is on the horizon. However, Sarah Huckabee Sanders urged the public to remain calm, explaining that the president is simply unsure if the world is going to be renewed for another season, so he's considering pulling the plug himself. Scientists have recently discovered that we share the Milky Way with 100 million black holes, whereas I share my Milky Way with no one. In medical news, a bionics company is working with Disney to create bionic limbs that look like Elsa's gloves, Iron Man's armor, or a Star Wars lightsaber, which is why I've stopped being careful around meat slicers. Microsoft CEO Bill Gates has donated $4.5 billion to an undisclosed charity. But, not to be outdone, I recently walked into a Whole Foods bathroom and flushed a used toilet. For charity. Recently, a disgruntled Google employee wrote a manifesto stating Google should de-emphasize gender equality in their hiring. Siri, what do you think about this?
That is some fucking shitty male nonsense.
NBC has announced that they will not be moving forward with the Xena Warrior Princess reboot, in which Xena would finally be allowed to be openly gay. The reason being because there's just too much queer content on TV right now. A man in California was recently arrested on suspicion of committing a burglary after police tracked his DNA from fecal matter left in the toilet of the burglarized home. When asked how police were able to track him down, the suspect said, "Oh, shit." It's the beginning of fall, which means that college students are headed off to their respective universities. For the best tips and tricks of navigating college life, here's senior college correspondent Tim Metzler. Hi, Tim.
Yeah, college! Yeah! College! Woo! Yeah, college! Yeah! Listen, it doesn't matter who you are, college is automatically the best 1 to 17 years of your life. You get to do some pretty amazing things. Like you get to go to parties that all you can smell is sweat and empty bottles of whiskey. Pretty great. Or you can try and join every sorority until somebody finally tells you what sororities are.
Wait, Tim, did you try to join a sorority?
I tried to join 7. I thought they were sorcerer clubs.
Okay.
Sorcerers, they're not real, Maggie. The best thing college gives you is school spirit, or a reason to fight people you don't know for absolutely no reason. On Wisconsin, go Michigan. Suck it, Ohio State, eat my shit!
What? Okay, jeez. All right, we're getting like way ahead of ourselves here because college also gives you a degree. I mean, that's basically the main reason to go to college, right?
Not at all. Everybody has a college degree nowadays and nobody uses them. It's sort of like a thing that you get and it's a piece of paper and then you go into customer service or sales.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. So I guess just what tips do you have for upcoming college students?
Tip number 1, stretch your hands. The last thing you want is to have carpal tunnel flare up while you're pulling an all-nighter and shotgunning Red Bulls. Tip number 2, drink whole milk instead of eating food.
What?
That's right, whole milk actually has more calories per ounce, it's easier to consume, and it comes out of a cow. I mean, that's more of a life tip, am I right? Tip number 3, quit college. Leave. Go. anywhere. You're not safe in your safe space. All right? It's all a ruse to try and get you to read something that Friedrich Nietzsche wrote while he was dying from syphilis. It's lies.
Well, Tim, let's take it easy.
No, I'm not going to take it easy, all right? I'm sorry, but every Friday at 3 p.m., a man calls me and tells me that I owe $210,000 in student loans. I got an English degree. Now I work at Best Buy. The only time that you should ever owe $210,000 for a piece of paper is if you recently purchased an autographed poster of Beyonce.
Tim, are you crying?
I'm about to. Which brings me to tip number 4. Make sure that you cry a lot and cry often. I don't know if you know this, but tears are one of the best bacteria killers in existence.
That's not a thing.
It totally is. Why would I keep a vial of my own tears in this hand sanitizer bottle?
I don't know. Why?
You're going to do some truly disgusting things in college. Filthy things. You never know when you're going to need a bottle of your own tears.
All right, I feel like I learned nothing, but thanks for stopping by. What, Tim? Oh, God. All right, Tim Metzler, everybody.
All right, see you later.
Oh, Jesus. All right, guys, now let's focus on something that is a favorite pastime of Russian state employees and grandpas before they go to bed. Hacking. The first hackers were MIT students in the 1960s who were interested in just how far they could dive into computer programming. These people took on the hacker moniker, bringing it with them to the garages of Silicon Valley, going by names like Bill or Steve. Unfortunately, today, the word hacker is kind of more of a scary word, like spider or Southern heritage. Or boo. In reality, there are as many types and styles of hackers as there are hashtags. Hashtag a whole buttload. Maybe you heard of some of them, like hacktivists or malicious hackers or 12-year-olds who built their own computers to catfish lonely aunts. The differences between all of them are nuanced, and they mean a lot to nerds, like the difference between Dumbledore and Gandalf. They're not the same. They're different people. Dad. So for our purposes, we will focus on the distinctions of good hacking versus bad hacking, aka white hat hackers and black hat hackers. Now, black hat hackers are those who work outside of the law, usually driven by profit, and sometimes driven by the need to know what happens next on Game of Thrones. The start of malicious hacking, like Tom Cruise movies, almost sounds quaint and charming by today's standards. For example, in 1971, a man named John Draper, alias, and I am not kidding, Captain Crunch, manipulated AT&T's phone system by using a toy whistle from a Captain Crunch box to get free long-distance phone calls, making it the biggest oops since all berries. However, a more modern and decidedly less delightful example includes Ryan Collins, the 36-year-old man who you might remember pled guilty to the release of hundreds of stolen nude celebrity photographs in 2016. Okay, so what specific dangers do we face from hackers? Well, at the risk of being slightly alarmist, I believe that it is safe to say that all humans are at risk of cyber attack at every point of the day or night, no matter who or where you are. Reminds me of the old joke, hacker, I hardly know, oh wait, now I know everything about her. Christie Field, 300 Hoover Street, Grand Rapids, Michigan, 59505. So hackers can access your home network through very surprising weak links, like any in a series of newfangled doodads and whoosy-whatsits, like this fancy dishwasher that gets Wi-Fi, or this hip refrigerator that gets Wi-Fi, or this hashtag trendy coffee maker that gets Wi-Fi, or this, crockpot that gets Wi-Fi. Or my lazy robot butler. Damn it, Roomba! You be careful down there, Roomba! Vacuum only! Okay, so once a hacker is in, nothing is safe. Bank accounts, medical records, emails, pictures, videos, unfinished one-acts written by unemployed former film majors with what the hair cuttery once called an out-of-control split ends problem. Working title is Take an Asterisk with Me. For those of you you unconcerned with an army of high-end kitchen appliances, cars, and drones attacking humanity like some freak Shia LaBeouf-less Transformers movie, then how about spoilers, huh? High-profile production studios are particularly vulnerable and usually simply pay ransoms to make leaks go away. And honestly, the only people who should be profiting from leakage are the people who invented Depends. Thank you, Depends. And then there was the time that hackers spoiled the biggest TV show of 2016, the US presidential election. Not spoiled as in revealed, spoiled as in milk. The question has been asked a million times, did hackers influence the 2016 US presidential election? Well, it depends on who you ask, but when you ask them, they will all say yes. Sort of like when you ask your grandparents for money. Many findings show that Russian hackers tried to negatively impact the Clinton campaign through the release of emails and the use of spam bot accounts on Twitter, like these ones. Wait, hang on a second. Roomba? No! Roomba! No tweeting, Roomba! No tweeting! Bad Roomba! So the full scope of Russian hacking during the 2016 election, like if Dippin' Dots really is the ice cream of the future, may not be known for years or decades. But what we do know is that hacking was present, and it's only going to get presenter. So if this is a huge threat to our national security, private lives, and Game of Thrones watching experiences, then I'm sure that we as a nation, as a people, must be pulling out all the stops to prevent emails, dragons, naked pictures, or 4 years from ever getting taken from us again, right? Well, like my parents said when I told them about this show, meh. Well, it turns out the most effective measures against hacking are discovered and developed by hackers themselves. Like how women design the best vibrators. So our hopes lie in white hat hackers working to stop black hat hackers. Well, unfortunately, there is a hat color blindness that often prevents the most qualified candidates from getting work. Hackers are routinely disqualified for employment for minor offenses, things like having smoked pot or pirating Swim Fan in high school. But companies like Facebook and Google are using what are called bug bounties, which involves compensating hackers to find holes in their security systems. Not to be confused with bug bounty hunters, which is what my boyfriend becomes whenever I see a spider in the apartment. The benefits of these so outweigh the risks that even the Department of Defense held a Hack the Pentagon program, where 138 vulnerabilities were discovered for only a $150,000 price tag, making it the absolute wisest use of government funds since Jack Bauer. He is real, Roomba! He exists! So, the Senate has, in a, hang on, wait, do I have this right? Bipartisan action, proposed a similar program working with the DHS. Oh, and just so you know, that word again is bipartisan, used freely during the 20th century. It became extinct in the early 2000s and is now only studied by AP Civics students. Bipartisan. So hackers are just a part of the technological ecosystem, and technology is a major part of our lives. For now. So we just have to learn to live with them, all right? Because a lot of hackers are terrible. They're really, really bad. And Roomba, you gotta be! Oh my gosh, Roomba? A cupcake? Thanks, Mom. Wow, so, you know, some hackers are bad, but not all hackers suck. Thanks, Roomba! Stop being racist. For the news with Maggie Smith, I have been Maggie Smith. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.